Okay, we are here with, thank you for joining us, and we are here with Thomas from Apkarian and Old Orcutt. He's a local CPA, and he's here to help us put some thoughts and insights into everything that's going on and some questions that everybody might have on the tax forefront. So, Thomas, thank you very much for joining us. And
you're welcome.
Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about you and what your specialty is?
Yes, my name is Tom Apkarian or Thomas Apkarian. I'm a local CPA in Old Orcutt, right above the old Rooney's or Blast 825 now. I've been in business with my business partner, Pat McDermott, since January of 2010. Just a little bit about our firm is we just brought in a new partner in January of this year, Ben Watson. He's doing a great job. What a different dynamic than any of us expected with everything going on in a tax season and a new tax law a couple of years ago. What kind of our specialty, and if you don't know about me, is we handle a little bit of a wide variety of clients anywhere. We have one that's around the world. We have several, mainly here on the Central Coast, San Luis, Santa Barbara County, but we do have chain of clients that are all over the Central Coast or up and down the state of California. And what we really prefer is those clients that we can do the planning, not just so much a W-2 or a 1098 mortgage interest, but whether they have a rental property or they are in the front of, hey, we have a small S corporation and what can we do for them? Is it the pension plan? Is it buy the rental property, buy the investment property, buy the new car or truck or tractor? There's just so many cool things that we can do. And I'm probably going to put myself out of business for making this comment, but really the tax return is the byproduct. It's all the things we can do going into it. So that's a little bit about myself.
And that's awesome. I can personally speak because I love working with you, and I know several people that work with you as well. And one of your advantages for the normal people in the world is you break it down to where you could understand. You speak English and you don't speak tax code to people. So it's really easy to understand where you're at and some goals to get you where you want to be. So myself, I've experienced working with you professionally and I love it. So thank you for that. I'm sure with everything that's going on, with this is tax season normally and you're busy anyways, but now that we have all these COVID changes, how has business changed over the last few weeks? What are you experiencing?
Well, it's absolutely crazy. Normally, I would say normally at this time I'd probably be on vacation because tax season would be over.
Yeah.
But the reality is today is I'm looking at my computer to see the date. It's April 24th. And honestly, you might as well have hit the reset button and it's now January 24th in the tax world because I've got another till July 15th to file everything. And where we're spending more time is, the small business owners that's going, how do I pay payroll? How do I pay rent? How do I do everything virtually like we're doing today? I've personally got half my staff working from home. That's a big change. I'm used to the face-to-face. Let's put the tax return in front of both of us and let's discuss it together. And it's a whole new world. And honestly, every morning I get up and spend at a minimum an hour a day just reading what Congress did the day before or what changes we have and more importantly, the interpretation of it. I mean, it's new by the day, and if it doesn't change by the hour, it's unbelievable. So,
yeah, like we're not day to day, we're hour by hour. So experience and interpret everything.
Yes.
So you touched on a little bit of it. So the government programs that are out there, I'm sure you're getting inundated. You had mentioned to me that you have 50 plus calls a day of people asking on the PPP programs, the EIDL program. Are you able to help people through that and navigate how to fill out those applications or give them some guidance? How are you handling that?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I am able to help everybody with that. I work with several different lenders here on the Central Coast as far as the banking. First thing I always do is I tell everybody, contact your local bank, because you want to work with them. A lot of the banks are so backed up, or credit unions are so backed up, they can't take a new customer. I don't think any of us were ready for this. But I kid you not, if I talked to 5 different bankers right this second, I'd have 5 different applications for the same client. So it's very, very different. And what I love to do is really sit down and say, okay, get that form from the bank. Let's fill it out based on their spreadsheet. I say it's 5 different formats, but it's not that far off. And I've done enough of them, or help the client say, okay, go get your 940s, go get your 1099s, go get. I can guide you to where we need to go. And then what I like to do is, with my clients that we're filling these out for, is prepare a nice work paper for it and say, okay, this is what we included. And if one of the lenders wants to not include certain things or add something, they can see what we did. And it's been real nice, because what I like to do is go ahead and include everything possibly, and then let them cross it out. But at the same time, they know where I came up with it. We're not making numbers up, but we're finding, want to maximize these things, because all of us small business owners are struggling through this time.
Yeah,
So
it's good that you're able to help people through that, because I talk to a lot of people that are just lost in that whole dynamic of who to go to. So with some guidance from a professional, that gives people a little peace of mind of how to fill out the paperwork. Do you see, with those programs, the IDL and the PPP, do you see any tax complications or ramifications, I should say, coming down the pipeline if people choose to use those programs?
great question. So, I mean, and again, this changes. It's not like the tax law that's been around for the last 10 years, and, oh, they just tweaked 2 or 3 things. It's literally changing. Well, our interpretation is changing by the day. But with the PPP plan specifically, if you use the funds in the proper manner, and again, every lender may have a different spin on it, but basically, in a nutshell, if you use your money for your payroll, that's the main idea, for rent, for utilities, for thing. What the design of the plan was to keep your employees employed, because, like I said, all our businesses are down. I'm sure your sales are down. My collections are down. I mean, across the board. The idea is we want to keep everybody employed. And so the ramification that I see with this is, down the road, if you use it properly, the loan is actually, it turns into a grant. Then it's non-taxable income coming into your return. So let's say you get $100,000 on this PPP loan, you can have $100,000 tax-free. Then you have your payroll that you spend, your utilities, and again, you have to follow the criteria. And I don't want to get into too much specifics, because every single person is a little different, and their lender might want something a little different. But if you use the specifics, it's forgiven. You don't pay the tax on the 100 grand. Um, at this particular time, our understanding is those $100,000 worth of expenses is kind of the best of both worlds, because you still get to deduct them. Now, will that be clarified a little later and change a little bit? It might. At this particular time, California has not said that that is tax-free money. So my understanding is, if you get $100,000, the federal government's saying, and use it properly, it's tax-free on the federal side. The state side, you're going to end up paying tax on it. So really going to make tax returns the 2020 tax returns are going to be a lot of fun to figure out. And again, not a ton of guidance, but I'm going to imagine over the next 2 to 3 months, we're really going to have this dialed in and know what we can. But my help with our local, with our clients, as I help them with that, is, here's how you should use it. We're going to use to the best of our ability to follow the program, and then here's our understanding and interpretation of the tax code on it currently, but it probably will change to some level. But by July or August, when we hopefully get to somewhat of a new norm, I hope, hopefully we will have some guidance and be able to help you plan for the rest of the year.
Okay. Good information. So switching gears a little bit, there's a lot of independent contractors out there, and they pay quarterly taxes.
Yep.
What do they do if they've been stay-at-home orders? They're not able to work. Their quarterly taxes are coming up. If they can't pay them, what's some of your suggestions of how they handle that? What do they do with those?
Great question. And really, again, it's everybody's a little different on this. So I don't want to have anybody quote me and say, well, Tom said you could do it this way. But if you're an individual tax return, and normally speaking, if you're a sole proprietor, you usually pay estimated tax payments in April, June, September, and January. The April and June estimates have all been moved to July. So hopefully by July 15th, our cash flow all improves and we're in a position where myself and my contractor, we can pay our estimates. And that same thing goes with the normal April 15th deadline. It's a lot of clients are calling me and asking, hey, did you extend my return? No, I didn't extend your return. Actually, really, they just pushed the entire due date. That's why I made that joke at the beginning that it's like January 24th in my world, except it's beautiful outside. So really, there's some delays there, um, and if you get to July and you go, geez, I still can't pay, because again, I don't know what the effects on your specific business are. Um, you could extend the tax return till October. I mean, at this particular time, the normal extension from April to October is now going to be from July to October, and you get yourself a nice 90 days extra to come up with some cash. If and what's nice about that is it stops all the penalties. The IRS will charge you some interest on your money, but the reality is it's all based on prime, and interest rates right now are pretty darn low. So it's probably going to be a pretty small interest bill on that. If you get to October and you still can't pay, we can put you on a payment plan. We can set up. There's all kinds of options. Hopefully by October you're in a position that you can pay for your previous year's tax return. And another thought that just comes up with the conversation is, if normally a lot of my clients, we do our estimated tax payments based on 110% of the prior year tax. Well, that's nice when the economy is soaring like 2018 and 2019. But 2020, I'm going to imagine all of us are going to have a decrease. So we might really want to look at it and say, the IRS gives you the option of, hey, if my net income's cut in half, we can base your estimates based on the current levels. So there's really some cash flow things that we can do to help you out. There are, without getting into specifics, there's ways of even deferring some of the estimates. But the reason I don't want to get into the detail on that, Stephanie, is some of my clients and our mutual clients will end up getting this payroll protection plan. And if they use that, they can't also defer certain things. So it's really, you need to check with your team, whether you use me or use one of my business partners or your own CPA. Check with us. It varies, but for the most part, you can absolutely count on no exceptions. All those April 15th payments, you can wait till July. So don't pay them early.
Now, for those people that are out there that they might have a bookkeeper or maybe they do their books themselves, but they don't have a CPA, they're watching this and they really like you, maybe want to get in contact with you. We all know that you're busy right now. What's the best way for new clients coming in or possibly seeing this to get in touch with you and get started? Would you rather them email you, go to a website, call? How are you filtering new business and how would you prefer that to come in?
Great question. We do have the email and the phone calls, and I'm still in the office at least 6 days a week right now, just filtering all this. And like I said, I'm spending more time researching than actually preparing things right now. But really, if you call in, we might have to. Normally, I'd love to get you in ASAP, but the reality is we might have to book you out 2 or 3 weeks. If it's a quick 5-minute, hey, this is what we can do, just give the office a call or shoot an email. But my goal is always to respond to everybody within 24 hours. I'll be honest, right now it's sometimes a week out, and it's not intentional. It's just the sheer volume
Yeah.
is what's getting in our way a little bit. But no, we're here to help you. Um, Usually the telephone for me is the best way, and then if I can't get back to you, I'll get somebody that will and get you on the calendar.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we appreciate all this great information. I do have one question for you, is if you had to give a message of hope to the community right now, what would you like to leave it with?
That's a great question. Wow, that you put me on the spot here, Stephanie. But the message of hope that I have is I really think when this is all done, when the flip side, and who knows when. I mean, of course I hope it's yesterday, but I think there's going to be a lot of good. I think there's been a nice. I think we've all slammed on the brakes a little bit and realized that we can be a little bit more patient. We don't have to be so instantaneous as the world has been in the last 10 years. Maybe slow down a little bit and really be here for one another and really put your good teams together. And um, time time for us probably to look at reality and make sure we're supporting our local restaurants or local takeouts, or when we get back to normal, let's make sure we use our local folks. And I, like I said, the community as a whole, my business in particular, we're very involved with several nonprofits, and we're all still going to be here together. And it might be a slow ramp up, but we're going. I think this community, especially at San Luis or Santa Barbara County, we're we're great that way, and I think this is going to get us back that way even more so. So I don't want to call this the new normal. I I hope we get. I don't think we'll be back to the old way for quite some time, but hopefully something in between. And like Stephanie, when you and I first got on this call, geez, we're learning. Hey, we can do this over the phone. We don't have to be in person all the time. I mean, I think this kind of reiterates you don't have to live in Orcutt or Santa Maria to be my client. You could be in Salinas, and we can jump on the phone like this, or San Francisco. So I think there's going to be a lot of good that comes out. And I'm personally kind of excited to see maybe some of the technology that comes out with maybe cleanliness, maybe a card reader, or something that just helps like I said, a lot of push the reset button, and I think we're going to have some positive.
Yep, I totally agree. I totally agree. Well, I thank you for your time. I thank you for answering all those questions we have, and I appreciate it. I love your message of hope to the community. And as always, thanks, Thomas. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And stay healthy.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.